Hello guys, it's me Josh. Check out the Future Filmmaker 3940. We do film reviews, TV reviews, music reviews, top 10s, basically all that. Now, so far I've done some of my annual end of year lists. Basically the new list that me and another YouTuber came up with, the most highest female characters of last year, then the worst of 2018, then ranked the superhero movies and the scary movies from worst to best, and also my most surprising and my most disappointing of last year. Now all that's left is the guilty pleasures, the most underrated / overlooked, and then the actual best of 2018. But I am focusing on the most underrated picks of 2018. These are movies that I felt like I really liked, but critics didn't really like. Then critics liked, but audiences didn't like, or audiences liked and critics didn't like. Or maybe it's a movie that got overlooked and then didn't get to do as well as it should have. These are my personal picks. We have 23 different options, and this is my opinion. So if you don't like most of the choices, don't get upset. But before I get into the actual list, I do have a couple of honorable mentions. My honorable mentions for the most underrated / overlooked movies in this order: The Nun, Bohemian Rhapsody, Fahrenheit 451, Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween, Instant Family, On the Basis of Sex, Widows, Tyler Perry's Nobody's Fool, Mowgli Legend of the Jungle, Shane Black's The Predator, Nutcracker in the Four Realms, Alpha, I Kill Giants, A Simple Favor, Fantastic Beasts 2 The Crimes of Grindelwald, or Harry Potter movie number 10, The Hate U Give, and Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. Those are all the honorable mentions. Let's get into the actual 23 films. Coming in 23rd place is First Man. Now, this movie tells the story about the astronaut Neil Armstrong and his family and the whole mission of being the first man on the moon. And this movie just got overlooked simply because of the controversy for the American flag, which, I kid you not, our freaking president, who is losing his mind right now, had the nerve to talk about the American flag not being it's a freaking movie, which honestly led to this movie's box office underperformance. And I feel like it's not really fair to the movie, because I thought this was a really great film. Like I said, I did have the usual problems with it being a little slow, and there are some things that there are some moments where it does get a little too emotional, but the performances I thought were really great. Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, Jason Clarke, everyone did a great job in there. I also really thought that it really brought some kind of entertaining value. There was a lot of emotional moments. Granted, when it comes to Damien Chazelle, this is probably my second favorite or third favorite of his, because he's only done 3 movies this far. But First Man, I really think deserves to be seen by a lot more people. Coming in number 22 is The Meg. Now, I've talked about this in my horror ranking a little bit, and like I said, I do have the usual problems here. Again, you could have cared about the characters. I feel like if the Meg was rated R, you would have been able to show a lot more shark chaos. And also, I felt like there are some moments where that kind of feel like a little out of place, but The Meg I thought was a very entertaining shark film. I like Jason Statham in it. I like Ruby Rose. I like the cast. I like this idea of this huge megadolion just trying to kill all these people on the beach. And this was a fun film for my 20th birthday last year. This was a better movie than Slenderman, to tell you the truth. So, The Meg, number 22. Number 21 is Mortal Engines. This comes to us from the filmmakers who brought us The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Peter Jackson's King Kong 2005, and The Lovely Bones. And unfortunately, this movie is not only losing money for the studio, but it has also gotten a pretty mixed reception. Like I said in my review of the film, I do wish there was more world build up. I do wish there was more time for character development. And I do wish that the villain wasn't too entirely cartoonish. But for what I got a serviceable, entertaining, fun film. It's very different from the book, which I haven't read. It does stick to the characters' names. It does have an unknown cast for the most part, except for Hugo Weaving, who does pretty good as Stadia's Valentine. Harold Hilmar, I really liked her as the character of Hester Shaw. Tom Natsworthy, I really like. Jihai as Anna Fang. The action scenes were well done. I really liked the direction and cinematography. I really loved the music in here. I enjoy a lot of the things in this movie. I think there's some entertainment factor in here. And it's a shame that this movie and another film from 2017 called The Great Wall, which starred Matt Damon and the gorgeous Jean Tion, who you will see a movie with her on this list coming up a little later. But didn't get to make its money or didn't get to find its audience. If you haven't seen Mortal Engines, I would say the least you can do is just give it a chance. Don't listen to the critics. Judge it for yourself. Coming in number 20, this might be a controversial pick, but Netflix's The Kissing Booth. Yes, The Kissing Booth. I know that there's a lot of people who just don't like The Kissing Booth at all. I know a lot of people say it's sexist, it's regressive, it's this, is that. That's fine. I'm not here gonna say nothing to you that's gonna make you change your mind, nor do I want to change your mind. I do see the problems that everyone says, that this movie is kind of sexist. Just a little bit. Yeah. This movie does the whole romantic love triangle a little bit wrong. And I could definitely say this was a better movie to watch than Slenderman in the case of Joey King. And one of the actors that she did meet, they are dating, so that is a plus. I thought there were some moments that I actually kind of liked. Molly Ringwald, she was really good. I like what they were trying to do, but the problem is that most of the time, the film does have the usual rom-com teen cliches that most of these movies do have. And it does feel a little sexist and regressive. But I don't mind the kissing booth. To tell the truth. Coming to number 19 is Suspiria. This movie got very polarized reactions from audiences and from critics, and that is a shame because it's a shame this movie only made 2.1 million because this movie screws you up in the head from the minute you watch it to the ending. There's a lot of intense moments. Like I said, the film is a little too long. I didn't care for Tilda Swinton. I thought there were a lot of weird moments that got way too weird and over the top and disturbing. But the cast was really great in this movie for the most part. Dakota Johnson was excellent in this movie. Mia Goth was great. Chloe Grace Moretz was great. I love the ballerina choreography. I love the cinematography. I really love. It's a different movie from Dario Argento's film. So this is a very different film from the Dario Argento film. So Suspiria 2018, I really enjoyed. I definitely recommend people see it. It's not really that bad of a film. Coming to number 18 is a fun World War II zombie film. It's a nice little throwback film. And this didn't get to make anything. Overlord. This should have been moved to a different release date, but I will say the trailers got me pretty impressed with the film. I thought it was going to be another Cloverfield movie, but it turned out to be actually much more than that. It wasn't a Cloverfield movie. It was a nice throwback to the old zombie films. I really liked the direction here. I really liked the story, the characters, except for the one character who's kind of an asshole. But I really love the rest of the acting in this movie. Jovan Apito, Wyatt Russell, gorgeous Mathilde Olivier, who I want to see her in more stuff after this. But King Woodbye, all of the actors are really great. The zombie carnage and blood was very entertaining. I thought it was just a lot of greatness into this movie, just a lot of fun, entertainingness. The music was very good. Like I said, this should have made more money than it did if the release date was changed, because this movie is truly underrated, and this is definitely one of my favorites of 2018. So you're going to be seeing this in the best of. But that's number 18. Number 17, Bad Times at the El Royale. I am just heartbroken that this movie, as well as number 16, which is Hotel Artemis, these are two different, unique kind of films. It has that Tarantino-esque noir kind of setting, and this is a truly awesome film, and I just feel like this movie should have made more. Yes, the 2 hour and 21 minute runtime is a little too long. There are a couple moments where it does get a little slow paced, but you do have the strong direction by Drew Goddard. You have a very strong script. Chris Hemsworth as the villain, I really liked him. Dakota Johnson, Cynthia Erivo, Lewis Poldman, Jeff Bridges. The acting was great. I really liked the score. I really liked the interesting twists and turns they had here. This was just a very good film, and I really loved Bad Times at the El Royale. It's sad that this movie didn't get to do anything, but I think this is a very entertaining film. Coming to number 16 is Hotel Artemis. This movie definitely didn't just came and gone like Serenity and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang combined. This is just a very entertaining film. I really like the performances in here from Jeff Goldblum, Sophia Boutella, Sterling K. Brown. All the acting in this movie was really great. I really liked the direction. I really liked the writing and the interesting things that they wanted to do. And I really liked the entertaining aspects that they were trying to go with here. I thought that was really creative. I thought that was very inventive. And I thought that it was just very nice for the film to do. And I thought it was just very awesome, and I thought it was very creative. And it's just very nice to see an original film. Even though I love seeing sequels and franchises, it's very cool getting an original film like this. So, Hotel Artemis is number 16. 15th place is Annihilation. Unfortunately, this film got pulled away from theaters before it even had the chance to find its audience. And it only made a little bit of its money budget back. And also, this was also shown on Netflix, so for all the people who didn't get to see the film in theaters, you did get to see it somehow. But that doesn't change the fact that Annihilation is a really awesome sci-fi film. It's another great thinking person's movie. It's great seeing thinking person sci-fi movies. This is a different type of sci-fi movie than what I'm used to seeing. I love movies that challenges you to use your head, that makes you question. And Annihilation just really was one of the best examples of it. Alex Garland's direction and writing was really solid. I really loved the intensity of it. The ending was very shocking, very surprising. At first I thought it was very weird like, but Annihilation was very cool. The acting was really great, from Natalie Portman to Gina Rodriguez to Tessa Thompson to Oscar Isaac. Everyone just brought their A game. And I thought it was just great. And I thought it was a very entertaining film. And I thought it was a really fantastic film. Number 14 is The Commuter. A lot of people say this is basically non-stop on a train, but I really liked The Commuter with Liam Neeson. It's a very entertaining film. It's very different from the film, from what we got. I really like Non-Stop, and here it has tension here. Liam Neeson saving a lot of people's lives on a train. It definitely has its flaws for sure, especially when it comes to that third act. Excuse me. But I really like the acting from everyone, including Liam Neeson and Vera Farmiga. I really liked the decisions that they decided to go with here, and I thought that this was just a very good film. I really enjoy this film. And I definitely think The Commuter deserves more recognition. Coming to number 13 is Life Itself. I'll talk more about this in my best movies of 2018, but all I'm going to say here is that I really think the critics you went too far with this. This is not that bad of a movie. It definitely has problems, but I didn't mind Life Itself. I think this movie should have more people should just been optimistic and give it a fair chance instead of listening to the unintentionally, unbelievably bad reviews from professional critics. There is a good story here. I like that all the different stories that they're tying into here, connecting together, and all of the acting is great. Like I said, I'll talk a little more about this movie when we get to the best of, but for right now, this is what I have to say about life itself. Another movie that I'll talk more about in my best of, The Party's Just Beginning. I think a lot of people kind of overlooked this movie because they probably didn't know it was coming out this year. They probably didn't know that Karen Gillan was writing and directing this film. I knew because I'm a fan of Karen Gillan as an actress. I think she's pretty. I think she's attractive. I know she's Scottish, but you know what? I think she's talented. I love her as Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. I love her short-lived show Selfie, and this movie shows that she is capable of writing and directing a film, and she did a great job writing and directing this film. It really impressed the crap out of me. I gave this a very high rating. If you haven't seen my review, I'll talk a little more about this and Ocean, the next ones in my best of. But I really love The Party's Just Beginning, and I think if you haven't seen The Party's Just Beginning, give it a fair chance. Don't disown the movie just because it's Karen Gillan from Guardians of the Galaxy. Just give this movie a fair chance, is all I ask. Number 11 is Ocean's 8. The reason why I feel like Ocean's 8 is underrated and overlooked is because a lot of people tend to overlook this movie because they fear it was going to be the same exact thing as Ghostbusters. Like I said, it's not better than the Steven Soderbergh film trilogy with George Clooney, Matt Damon, and Julia Roberts, and Andy Garcia. But I appreciate it for trying not to be it. It does go by the books, but due to the work of an awesome, talented cast like Sandra Bullock and Helena Bonham Carter and Anne Hathaway and Rihanna, who is really good here, Awkwafina, who is really amazing here. I really liked her in the Netflix film Dude with Lucy Hale, which I'm saving for the best of. All the cast in this movie was great. Even Cate Blanchett was great. I love Cate Blanchett. Like I said, it is by the books. It does have that familiarity to the very first Ocean's 11 film. But I think this film more people should have been nice to it and should have been more optimistic about it. It's not that bad, guys. It's a hell of a lot better than Ghostbusters Answer the Call or Ghostbusters 2016, because that was awful. So, Ocean's 8 is number 11. At number 10 in this most underrated of 2018, overlooked, is Red Sparrow. This stars Jennifer Lawrence, Joel Edgerton, Jeremy Irons, and this was directed by Francis Lawrence, who's directed movies like Water for Elephants, I Am Legend with Will Smith, and the last 3 Hunger Games movies. And this movie got a lot of bad reception. I didn't mind Red Sparrow. I know people were, they hated Red Sparrow. Like I said, It does have the usual problems that holds it back, but it's good enough to make it on. It was good enough to make it onto my best movies of last year as an honorable mention. And I got one thing to say. I am sick of people just disrespecting Jennifer Lawrence like she cannot act worth anything. Which she is a better actress than most actresses and most actors I've seen, including Kristen Stewart. Mic dropped. Like I said, the film is a little too long. It does overstay its welcome, and some of the violence in this movie can get a little overbearing. But Red Sparrow is number 10. I really liked it. At number 9 is Tomb Raider 2018. I liked this version of Tomb Raider way more than I did the Angelina Jolie ones. In this one, she's played by Alicia Vikander. Not only this was the 9th most underrated film for me, but I also feel like this is one of the better video game movies out there. It's up there in one of my personal favorites with Wreck-It Ralph and the Angry Birds movie, which the sequel to Angry Birds 2, comes out this September. Very curious about it, since I love the first one. Disney's Tron and Tron Legacy with Jeff Bridges. It does have a villain problem, and it does have moments where she is in situations, and honestly, she is somehow easily to get out of the situations, but she does have vulnerability to her. She does have the battle scars that you usually see, and this was very different from the two Angelina Jolie ones. It focuses on, and Alicia Vikander I thought was really great here. I really liked the cast. I didn't care. Walter Goggins, he was okay as the villain, but he's a pretty good actor. Like I said, it did have its problems, but Tomb Raider 2018 was, of course, the better film for the Tomb Raider film series. Number 8 is Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. A lot of people, they really liked the film, and some audiences liked the film. Now, me having watched the film again, in my original grade review, I remember I gave it a seal of approval or better than Vampire Academy, I can't remember. But now I would give it back to an epitastic, because there are problems I do have with it. Like I said, you could have some development for your characters here. The film is a little too long, and the villain isn't really that memorable. And I didn't really care for Hannah John Kamen in this movie either, since I didn't really like her in Ant-Man and the Wasp as Ghost. I thought she could have been easily replaced, or someone else could have played the character Ghost, either a man or another girl. But Ready Player One, I thought was very fun. You had a lot of fun, nostalgic things going for it. I really like all the references that they put in here, including Steven Spielberg's movies. E.T., Freddy Krueger, the Chucky reference, the Iron Giants, basically all the pop culture references you can think of. And I like the whole virtual reality idea. But Ready Player One, I actually thought was very entertaining. I'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to the best of. But Ready Player One was very fun. Coming in number 7 is Pacific Rim Uprising. This is the sequel to Guillermo del Toro's 2013 film Pacific Rim. This film got heavily negatively criticized, mixed reviews at best. It did get box office success, but not as box office successful as the first Pacific Rim. like I said in my review, I do like this as a guilty pleasure. I just forgot to put this on my guilty pleasures list. But it's alright. It'll be an honorable. I do have a few honorable mentions for that one. Like I said, it does have problems with the character development. The characters aren't really the most memorable. And what it does to some of the characters from the first one is a little but I do like the robot action. The robot action did keep me hanging. The visual effects and the action, it really kept me. I really like the design of the robots here. And from the trailers made me pretty excited. Like, I do like the actors in the film. John Boyega, he not only produced this film, I really liked him in the movie. You may know him as Finn in the new Star Wars films. I like him as an actor. Scott Eastwood was pretty cool. I do like the one main girl. Then you have another main girl, which is the character Shao, played by Jean Tian, who this was my introduction to Jean Tian from last year, because I also saw The Great Wall, and I also thought it was actually pretty surprising to one of 2017's more underrated films. It does have its glaring faults, but Pacific Rim Uprising wasn't too bad. Coming in number 6 is The Equalizer 2. Yup, Equalizer 2. I liked The Equalizer 2. It's not better than the first Equalizer. I think the first Equalizer is still the best. But I do like Denzel Washington back in this movie as Robert McCall, the Equalizer himself, fighting the bad guys, getting cold awesomeness here for the loss of his friend, played by Melissa Leo, who I wish was in this a little more. It did run for a little too long, and there were some moments where it just got a little too carried away, but Equalizer 2 really wasn't that bad. Denzel Washington once again killed it. Anton Fuqua does a great job as directing. I like seeing him and Denzel Washington collaborate. Again, I am hoping there is an Equalizer 3, but I don't think there will be Equalizer 3, but it should, because I want to see Denzel Washington even more as Robert McCall for a third Equalizer film. His best part for me, Denzel Washington's best part, is still Alonzo Harris from Training Day. But The Equalizer 2 was really good. I think it's definitely overlooked. A lot more people should just stop comparing Denzel Washington to Keanu Reeves as John Wick, because that's really not fair. Just like people comparing Brie Larson as Captain Marvel to Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. It's not fair either. Number 5 is Disney's Christopher Robin. This is a live-action film based on the character from Winnie the Pooh. And this didn't get the best reviews either. But Christopher Robin, I really liked Christopher Robin. It was great seeing an adult version of Christopher Robin. It's very different than what we saw in the other Winnie the Pooh movies. Winnie the Pooh, the animation was really good on Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore, who's voiced by Brad Garrett, the mama kangaroo, the baby kangaroo, piglets. The only thing missing in this movie is the yellow rabbits. But I really enjoyed Christopher Robin. I really like the heartfelt moments that it had. Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin was really great. I really liked Haley Atwell as Evelyn Robin. It's just like I said, I didn't really care too much about his home life or personal life, but for what they needed to get right with the Christopher Robin movie, they got right. And to tell you the truth, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I like this more than I did 2017's Beauty and the Beast. There, I said it. There's nothing wrong with Beauty and the Beast. It's just that movie was a little too long. But this movie was much shorter. Christopher Robin, number 5. I really like Christopher Robin. Number 4 is Upgrade. Definitely should have been seen more. Really like the idea. Really like the acting and the anime and the action scenes. I like the idea that it's a horror action film. Logan Marshall Green was really good. Lee Wannell's direction and writing was really cool. I really love the rest of the cast. It did have a little bit of a slow pace, but Upgrade I thought was really entertaining. It was really fun. It was a very different kind of action film than what we usually see. And this dog is on my bed. Hang on. But number 4, Upgrade. I do have a few last couple words to say on it when we get to the best of 2018. Coming in 3rd place is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Hear me out here, okay? I know it does have its flaws. I know you don't really get to care for the characters from the first 2 more. And it does have a moment in here that does make me upset. And they really got you. But I get what they were trying to do with that moment. They were trying to hit you where it hurt, but it just really upset me there. But Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom wasn't really that bad. And this is coming from somebody who loves the first Jurassic Park and loves The Lost World, and thought Jurassic World was serviceable but heavily flawed. This is heavily flawed too, but I enjoy Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I like the first Jurassic World. Here, I do like I said, the problems, but the pros, I do like the action, I do like the dinosaur effects, I do like the direction, and I do like the acting from Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt, and everyone else. And you do underuse Jeff Goldblum, which I was very disappointed with, but I really wanted to see more of him. But Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World 2 really wasn't that bad. I am looking forward to seeing the last film. To see how it closes out. But this was pretty entertaining. So, number 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Coming in 2nd place is Unfriended Dark Web. I like the first Unfriended. This one is not as good as that first Unfriended movie. And it does have an ending that, according to the DVD, there are 3 different endings. I don't know. I haven't seen the other 2 endings. I've only seen the ending that I saw when I first watched the film. But I do like the idea of this whole dark web thing, and the kids, they just decide to play with the devil and mess with this dark web thing. I like the moments of it being scary. I thought it had a different direction, different vibe to it. And it had a different kind of, creativeness to it. Like I said, The ending, I'm still trying to figure out which ending is the real one. There are a few moments where it does get a little slow, but I enjoy Unfriended Dark Web for what it was. And it's a shame this movie got overlooked because a lot of people just said it wasn't as good as Unfriended. But yeah, the same amount of you who said this wasn't as good as the first Unfriended, you can sit up there and say Hereditary is the best horror film of this decade since this 2010's The Exorcist. The Exorcist is a better movie than that, yo. Hereditary is just over freaking rated. I have nothing against Hereditary. I'm just very mixed on that film. There are things I like and there are things I hate, but at least be happy that it's going to be on my best of list. But it's not going to be where you expect it. So, but number 2, Unfriended Dark Web. And coming at number 1 for my most underrated / overlooked film of last year, Sicario 2 Day of the Soldado, or Sicario Day of the Soldado. A lot of people said this wasn't as good as the first one. I disagree with that. I think it's not better than the first one, but I think it's a great sequel. I think it's a worthy sequel. Yeah, I agree with the criticism that the film does get a little too violent for its own good and a little too brutal, but it's an R-rated movie. What can you expect? That's what these action films are. And sometimes they're going to get very brutal and very intense. You still have the good writing of Taylor Sheridan. You have entertaining direction. You have the great acting from Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin, who last year was the year of Josh Brolin. This movie, Thanos and Avengers Infinity War Part 1, Cable, and Deadpool 2. You got Isabella Moner, who in my opinion is the scene stealer of this entire film. Which she was in another movie that was on this list as an honorable mention, and that was Instant Family. But I really thought that the film actually impressed me enough. It gave me what I wanted. It did its job, and it just really showed you what they were trying to do. I really liked the writing, I really liked the direction, I liked the music. By the way, rest in peace to Johan Johansson. You will be missed. And also, I thought it was very good. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was really nice seeing a different style of Day of the Soldado. Again, it is not better than the first one. It does miss the direction of Denis Villeneuve and one of his main stars from the first one. But Day of the Soldado, Sicario 2, I had a lot of fun with it. If you're hesitant to check this out because of some of the mixed reviews, I would say give it a chance. Be optimistic for once and just enjoy it. So that was my most underrated / overlooked films of 2018. Let me know what you guys think about this list down below. Do you like my list? Do you not like most of the opinions on here? I know some of them you're going to be like, what? Some of them you're going to be like, really? Some of them you're going to be like, okay. And again, fair warning. Just because I say Hereditary is overrated, that doesn't mean I hated it. If I would have hated the movie, it would have been on my worst stuff. But luckily it's not. So, at least be fair. Be on the lookout for the guilty pleasures, the best of the remaining 2018 films I have yet to talk about. I'm going to do another probably 2018 catch-up video. and probably. And also, I will be going into my first set of 2019 videos, which is of course my thoughts for the Avengers Infinity War Part 2 trailer, my thoughts on the Captain Marvel stuff, top 5 reasons why I think Captain Marvel will be awesome, and why it will suck in one video. Also, the first set of 2018 reviews, which you have this documentary, Surviving R. Kelly documentary. The M. Night Shyamalan film Glass, the third and last movie in the Unbreakable split trilogy, and then later on, at the end of the month, it will be The Kid Who Would Be King. I know what you're about to say. What about How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World? We've talked about this. I don't like the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. I watched the first two. I don't really like, so it's just gonna be like that with How to Train Your Dragon 3. It's got a good voice cast in all three of them, but including Kristen Wiig, but like I said, it was one of my least anticipated of the year, and it's out. Just not excited for it at all. But anyways, be sure to follow me on my social media links. Be sure to use the Future Filmmaker 3940 hashtag, the road to 1K subscribers hashtag, join the Epitasticness hashtag, and I will see you guys in the next video. You guys keep it cool as always. Enjoying the Epitasticness.